Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Takira UK, and I have brought you into my comfy corner, as I'll be calling it. I really wanted to talk about my college experience. I am going into the fall of my senior year, which means I only have 2 semesters left in undergrad, and your girl is so relieved. Like, I just don't know. But no, I'm so happy. Okay, hopefully some of the things that I went through can kind of teach you a lesson or make you think more about your decisions that you make in college. If you're a freshman watching this, or if you're, you know, someone younger than me, or even if you're in my class and you want to hear a story from somebody that's not your own, I'm here to give y'all the 411 on my college experience. Be forewarned that this is a chit chat video, so it might be long, it might be short, it might, you know, be little dashes of everything added everywhere. But at the end of this video, there will be some tips that I am giving to you freshmen. So I will put the timestamp down below where you can find that if that's what you came here for. But if not, just keep watching the video for my... So I really wanted to be like super organized, you know, with this video or whatever, and kind of touch on, you know, some things that I went through. I came into college in 2016, and I do go to Valdosta State University. A lot of people don't really hear a lot about Valdosta State. They don't know a lot about Valdosta State. If you are a freshman and that's why you came to this video, I have another video that you can click at the end of this one. It'll be in the end titles, like in the end screen, of my freshman experience, and it has a lot of gems in that video. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, pause this video, go to that one, and then just come right back for the full story. You know, like, get that experience and then just bring it on back. So yeah, like I said, I am going into my senior year. I have been at Valdosta State all 4 years now. That was 5. All 4 years now, going into 4 years basically, and I believe I've been through a lot. Like, guys, my whole experience was a mix of good and bad. It was roller coaster after roller coaster. It was great times after horrible times. Like, this isn't a sad sob story type of video. Some of the things that I'm saying aren't the best. Some of the things that I'm going to be talking about, they're not like perfect, but I really wanted to be real with you guys about like my experience, and maybe I can touch somebody. So my freshman year, everything was like really new to me. College was a big thing to me. I never really had expected that I would have the money to go to college, or that I would have the opportunity really to go, you know, so close to home. Like, that really wasn't ideal for me, but I ended up, you know, really enjoying my freshman year. I did a lot. I went out with friends. That's when I made a lot of connections. That's when I you know, got a small group of friends, and I was really content with those friends, and it was just the time of my life. Like, I'm not gonna cap. Around my freshman year, I was in a relationship, and that relationship ended as soon as I got on campus. So not only is your girl new on campus, but she's newly single, and I just really enjoyed myself. I had a good time. Like, it was a good experience. I got out, I did things. But one thing that was really hard for me freshman year was getting acclimated to being in college. Now, mind you, I have been on my own for a good little minute. It wasn't the fact that I was on my own. It wasn't the fact that I was away from my parents. I have no clue why it took me so long to get like accustomed to being in college, but there was a little brief period where I felt like my roommate was making friends faster than I was. I felt like she was always doing stuff, and she was always going places, and I kind of just stayed in my room, and I didn't really like go out. I would just watch Jane the Virgin. Like, I was just in Netflix eating Zaxby's, in my room watching Netflix, eating Zaxby's, that type of thing. So then I was just really kind of down. Like, I think that was the first down period I had of my college career. Like, it was just like, I don't really know what I'm doing here. Like, I don't know, it was such a weird experience, and it really didn't even last very long because I started to hang out with more people. We were always in the lobby. Shout out to people in Patterson from 2016, because y'all already know how that was. Like, it was really just a good time, and once I got over that little hump in the road, it was like clear sailing my freshman year. So then second semester of my freshman year, I met this guy who was a senior at the time, and y'all can imagine how that went or whatever. Him leaving, me, you know, trying to give it a chance, like, oh, he's leaving, but we can still be friends, yada yada yada, or, you know, trying to make it more than what it was. And really at the time, I didn't want to make it more than like just a little, you know, one night thing or whatever, but we ended up becoming a lot more than that, I guess. But then also that same semester, I met someone who really changed or had a big impact on my college experience, but that's another story for another day. I also met that person, so I was kind of not really in a love triangle, but I was not focused on what I should have been focused on. And that, my friends, is one of the overarching themes of this video, was I was not focused. Please remember that, I was not focused. So freshman year, I'm still making good grades. I have hope. I have, you know, still a 3.0. I'm still getting A's and B's in classes. But then I kind of noticed that my roommate was putting in more effort. She was putting in more time. She was doing more things than I was. So I was kind of like almost starting to get discouraged. But then partying like would swipe that little feeling I had away. And it was like, okay, whatever. I'm living my best life. So then comes my sophomore year. Sophomore year, I don't talk to that senior guy anymore. Him and I just didn't work out. And the guy that I had met during that time or whatever, he and I are starting to like pick up. So then, you know, there's him, and then I'm making more friends, and me and, you know, this group of friends that I had at the time, we're all getting a lot closer, like this big group of girlfriends. Like the beginning of sophomore year was lit, okay? I was so happy. I was like, this is my life now. Like, I had a job on campus, and, you know, I was working that, and it was one of the easiest jobs like I've ever worked ever. Not because like it was just a slack off kind of job, but it was so lax that I could do my work, and I was, you know, excited because now I'm into like my major classes. I'm over core, and everything just was supposed to be perfect. Pause, pump the brakes. It came crashing down, okay? Rumors had started about me based off of something I told one person, and then that kind of traveled, and then it got back to me, and I started to doubt myself, and I started to be really insecure. I kind of got into this little sad little drought dip, whatever you want to call it. Like, I was just in a low spot my sophomore year, and I really couldn't understand like what I was doing to people, I guess, or what I had, like, why is this happening now? Like, why is something being put on my name that I don't really agree with? And then at the time, like, the roommate I had, me and her, like, we were cool, we were friends, like, freshman year. And then it's like, you know how they say you don't really know somebody until you live with them? It was that type of thing. Like, there was nothing wrong with her, or like, she wasn't mean to me, she didn't do anything bad to me as far as I know, but our connection kind of had gotten lost in somewhere within translation. Like, it just, things had kind of changed, things shifted. Things started to shift with my relationships with friends around that year. I remember my sophomore year, I was seriously considering transferring to another school because me and this main guy that, you know, was gonna keep coming up, I was just finding out stuff that he was doing, and we just weren't on the same page. So then I was like just really upset about that, because I'm like, you know, like, me and this guy, we seem, you know, pretty cool. Like, I don't understand what's going on, why we can't get on the same page. Like, and then I was doubting myself and my abilities because my grades had kind of dropped a little bit. I had got my first C, and I really had lost focus. And I think I was so happy that I was riding that happy wave, but not preparing for, like, okay, this is stuff you have to do to stay happy, if that makes sense. Before my sophomore year, I had a relationship with God, but not really a strong one. So it was kind of like I didn't really have anybody to, like, to like turn to, that I could talk to about things. And I was just so confused and so lost. And I think my sophomore year is kind of when I started to find myself and figure out exactly what it was that I wanted to do, or try to get more involved on campus and just make myself do things. Because my freshman year, it was more like, okay, we're gonna party, we're gonna, you know, go out every weekend, and we're gonna sit in the lobby and not do work and barely go to class. And I still, you know, managed to slide through A's and B's. But then it was like sophomore year, it's like, okay, those were core. Sure, you do that then, it's not recommended, but now you're in your major, you have to be focused, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I just was not focused. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna transfer. And then I had this influx of people. They're like,
no, don't transfer, like, we like you, like, you should stay, like, there's no reason for you to leave, yada yada yada.
But then I'm like, okay, you know, these are people, these are my friends, these are people that, you know, I'm cool with. Like, they wouldn't want me to leave, like, they're gonna be a part of my journey or whatever. So I stay. Me and this dude stopped talking, and we do this, you know, back and forth, we stop talking, whatever. So me and this dude stopped talking, and this is when, like, I get a little sad. You know, your girl is emotional, your girl's a hopeless romantic in a sense, so I get a little sad, and I'm like, you know,
life is practically over.
And this is when I kind of start to find myself and who I was trying to become. But I was finding that through God. I was reading the Bible app more, and I was listening to words. And this is around the time where, like, my Twitter kind of started picking up, because I would just get on Twitter, like, ranting and venting and crying about whatever dude done broke my heart, and people kind of started to fuck with you, girl. So I was talking on Twitter, and then I was sharing my, like, Bible stories on Twitter, and I was getting better. I was healing. I was trying to figure out, like, what was going on, and kind of starting to get in a more healthy spot. So then you bring it to second semester and the beginning of my junior year. Me and this guy, of course, how on and offs work, we get back together. We weren't together, but we started dealing with each other again, and it's just like, okay, things are cool, things are cruising. I kind of got focused again. I'm still, you know, I'm more focused than God, and I'm more, like, attentive to, like, things I should be doing to keep my faith. And then junior year comes around, which was last year, right? Y'all, my junior year was the hardest semester. Second semester my junior year was the hardest semester I've ever been through in all of my history of, like, education, of school. Like, I lost myself. I lost a lot. But let's you know, go back to fall. So fall, going into school, I had gained a new best friend, and she and I were, like, super close, and we were always together. And me and this guy, you know, we still have our little on and off thing, whatever. And things just seemed to be cool. Like, you know, the summer came, and I kind of got my little groove back or whatever. Like, I'm feeling myself, you know, I'm still, you know, paying attention to God and doing things the way that I feel like he wanted me to do them. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be more involved, and I'm gonna be, you know, doing things on campus. And I really had a lot of hope for junior year, because I felt like, you know, I had learned my lessons or whatever from the prior year. So then junior year comes around, and me and my best friend at the time fell apart. We kind of just, I really don't even know what happened with that, but we really just had a miscommunication somewhere, and it wasn't time for us to be best friends anymore. And that kind of hit me really hard at the time, because it was like, okay, I'm the type of girl, I don't make female friends very easily. So when all of that happened, it was basically like, okay, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I keep a friend? Like, why, like, what is happening, or why, what did I do, kind of thing. Like, I just couldn't make sense of it. So then that kind of led me to really isolate myself a little bit. Like, I was still active. I had started doing modeling on campus, and I had started to, you know, I took an e-board position, which an executive board position is like a position that you take on an organization's executive board. So I was the treasurer on the executive board for one of the newer organizations on our campus, and I was like, you know, I was still doing my thing. I'm like, you know what, I was uploading videos on YouTube now at this point. I'm like, you know what, you know, we're just gonna keep going. I'm not gonna let it, you know, bother me. but it definitely did. It was like, it kind of rocked me a little bit, because I was like, okay, I don't really know who I could trust at this school. A lot of the friends that told me not to leave, they don't like me anymore because of things that happened. I had lost like those friendships that I did have. I'm falling apart with people. I just wasn't really holding on to the connections that I had made. I was kind of slipping off to the side, and then with this dude, me and him were like just going back and forth, and we had stopped talking, and it's just all of this stuff is happening, and I had kind of lost focus in what I came to school for. So then when my best friend and I stopped talking, it kind of really hit me, because it was like, dang, like all of these connections that I made my freshman year, and here we are in my junior year, and it seems like I've lost them all. The only people that I really like was talking to was my roommates. I had just gotten like, it's like we were on top of the hill, and then it just slowly started to like just dip down. Like we started to de-escalate. I would only go out every now and then. Or when I did go out, I would go like crazy. I'm drinking heavy. I'm just like doing things that I know I shouldn't. I wasn't going to class like I should have been. When the second semester comes around, like first semester, I kind of got away with not going to class. I, did what I had to do outside of class. I would get people to like send me notes, stuff like that. But I could tell that I was losing interest in not only school, but like college life in general. Like I just wasn't wanting to go anywhere. I wasn't wanting to see anybody. I didn't want to go to class. I was just unmotivated. The second semester comes, and that's when I hit rock bottom, I think. I really started not going to class. It was like I would go every now and then. I had took an online class, and I kind of just gave up in class. I wasn't really trying. There was a point where I was legit depressed, like, and it's kind of scary to say this online, but I feel like a lot of us in college go through it, to where we just feel like, I don't know, we're in this spot in our lives where you don't really know what you should be doing exactly. Like, you should know, because this is the time when you figure it out, but at the same time you don't really know, because you don't have all of the resources. And then you go through these things with people, and it's like, I feel like we're all at this point in our lives where we feel like we should know what's going on, and we feel like we should have an idea, but a lot of us really don't. And that can be really depressing as a college student. Like, when you don't have a sense of direction or a sense of your identity, it can be extremely hard to try to make the next steps for tomorrow, So I was in this spot where I was constantly thinking about my future, but I just felt like I was unable to do it. Like, I was super insecure. I started to question myself, my abilities. I had quit my organizations. Like, I was at the lowest of low. I was like super mad, depressed. Like, I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk. I had dipped off the scene. Like, and if you know me from Valdosta State, you would know that, like, if you saw me, I'm probably smiling, or I'm talking to people, or like I'm in the union, and I'm always like laughing and playing and stuff. But like, I did not want to do any of that. I was avoiding everybody. I had felt so isolated and so just useless. It was like, okay, I need to do something about this. So after that last semester, I like got the biggest wake-up call of my life because of my grades that I received from that last semester. And it was kind of like, okay, you have an option to either give up or use this situation that you've been in and use it to your advantage, and use it to grow, and use it to remind yourself of where you've come from in order to keep pushing you forward. And I really started to see that like that. I was like worried about people and what they were saying, and I was letting my relationships kind of rule my environment and who I was around, and I had really lost sense of myself and sense of like what I was worth and sense of like what I could do. And so after that last semester, it kind of hit me like, okay, wake up. Like, you can't keep doing this. You can't let this happen again. You can't let yourself get to that point, because nobody's gonna pull you out but you. So I started to get back right with God again. I was like, you know what? I just need you. I need you to grab me and wrap your arms around me and, lead me and steer me, because I don't know what I want to do right now. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know anything. Like, at this point, the only thing I know I'm sure of is that I'm tired of school. I'm not motivated to go. Like, it was a mess. Your girl was a hot mess. I started to get back into the Bible and, you know, reading, and started back going to work regularly because I had kind of started skipping out. I found what I needed, or I used that last situation that I was in to kind of pull me up and just be like, okay, this is who you were. Like, shaking myself, like, get your stuff together. Like, you can't be like this. So then I kind of started to track my bad habits. My spending habits were horrible. My consistency on YouTube was horrible. My consistency with life was horrible. So I was like, okay, you can recognize what you're doing, and then you can take that and you can fix whatever you recognize. Like, it's one thing to say, okay, yeah, this is where I messed up, and it's another thing to be like, okay, but this is how I'm gonna change it. This brings me into where I am today and the tips that I can give y'all, because I feel like I am at a completely different spot in my life. I'm sure of myself. I took the time to really get to know myself and use that period where I felt isolated to really kind of strengthen my relationship with myself. You spend a lot of time by yourself. You know, when you get into these little moods or whatever, you get into these little moods and you just kind of have to be like, okay, I'm not gonna allow myself to get into such a bad headspace. First tip for anybody coming into college is to keep a strong relationship with whoever you feel gives you security. So for me, it's God. For me, it's my religion. Whatever makes you feel like, okay, this is my rock, this is my safety, this is my serenity, use that and keep a hold on it. Like, whatever makes you feel like you're the best person that you could possibly be and that you have a purpose, hold on to that. And so for number 2 on the list of tips is don't lose focus at all. Remember why you came to school. If you need to take time to figure out things, do that, but never lose sight of why you came to college. Okay, that should have been number 1, but for me, God is number 1. Stay focused. Don't let no boys, no girls, no friends, no nothing stop you from getting your bag, okay? And your bag is getting that degree. Third tip would be to be responsible, especially when it comes to finances. Like, I know how easy it is. You get that refund check, you like, girl, I got extra money, we finna go shopping, we finna get this, we finna get that. Like, no. Okay, what you need to do, open a savings account, keep it in a safe place. If you don't want to open a savings account, if you don't trust the bank, keep your money in a safe spot so that you're not wondering where your next meal is going to come from when your dining dollars run out. Okay, make sure you are financially responsible. Keep the picture of the future in mind. Okay, and that goes into number 4 is keeping the future in mind. Plan out everything. I would definitely say planning is key in college. Please remember to always write down everything on your syllabus that you get at the beginning of the year. They have all the dates on tests, of exams, not tests and exams are the same thing, of exams, of midterms, of finals, of homework. Write all of it down where you're gonna check it every day. Put it in your phone calendar, put it somewhere. Keep, you know, a grasp on things that you have to do. Make a to-do list at the beginning of the week. Honey, I started to do that and it made things 10 times better. All right, keep track of what you're doing and stay organized. My fifth tip would be to be yourself, live your best life, but do it unapologetically. Okay, don't let anybody influence you. Don't allow anybody to change who you are or to question yourself. Like, you know you, and even if you don't know you for real, it's gonna take you to figure it out. Okay, please know that you know yourself best and you will figure it out. Also, if you get into a space where you're not sure of your next move, you're not sure if this is what you need to do, take a second, calm yourself, and just think it through. Like, we all go through different times where we feel like this might not be for me, or college just it's not for me. Like, college just isn't what I thought it would be, or it's just not going how I wanted it to, and it's easy to want to give up. But just remember that you are placed where you are for a reason. So if you're there, that's mean you're meant to be there. Get involved on campus and really be involved. Get to know people. This is the perfect time to network. This is the perfect time to find, you know, opportunities within the community. This is the perfect time to get to know your school, for one, because there are many events, there's many, you know, job fairs and career fairs that might come to you just because you're a part of a certain organization. So get involved, get out, do things. I know, especially for Valdosta State, we get 1,000,001 emails a day, okay? So look at those emails, read through them, see if there's anything that interests you. Take advantage of the things that are around you, like career opportunities and stuff like that, if you want to kind of like branch out and get more from the experience than just partying, than just, you know, the regular college life, okay? Like, set yourself up for years to come. But yeah, I think I've rambled enough on this video. I want to thank you guys for viewing this video. If you want more tips, go ahead and like and comment down below. If you have been through what I've been through and you want to share your story, go ahead and comment your story. Like, share with, you know, freshmen that might be watching this, or anybody else that you want to touch. Go ahead and put your story down below. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys. It's free. It's free. Like, it's easy to do. It's free. You guys are gonna be giving y'all more of these videos, maybe not in this setting because I don't really know how I feel about it, like the little wall crease right there. But anyway, yeah, let me know how y'all feel about this setting, or if you want me to keep it or not. I thank you guys again for viewing my video, and I will see you guys next time.